My Christmas gift this year is that they skipped the theme song. Rats, it's the same gift I get every year. £2 in 1882 would be worth nearly £300 today, or 350 US dollars. That better be some elite quality toothpaste. Talking vegetable hoax? All we ever see in this show are talking vegetables, and now you're telling me they're as hard to find as Bigfoot? Oh, but I love how Cavus laments about how everything in the paper is bad news, including local man reads story of Jonah and whale. You know, on second thought, considering Big Idea in 2002, that one's probably the worst news of all. Gee, this ad would be so helpful if there was a phone number or address or any actual way to contact this miracle worker. Integral Easter Carol foreshadowing buried between a Mary Poppins reference and a Monty Python reference. December 2nd, 1882 did not fall on a Thursday. Scrooge character provides conflict-triggering resource and immediately pieces out until the sequel.
Maybe the new invention didn't work. Maybe he sold it to someone else.
Why does Cavus care so much if Seymour does or doesn't have the invention? You'd think he plans to use it for the show, but no, all he wants is the box of electric lights, which clearly isn't Seymour's invention. Also, you would think this unstable rocket car is just a product of its time, but then you remember that Pa Grape's character was never good with cars.
The Princess and the Plumber.
Nintendo does not immediately C&D this play. Alright, show of hands. Anyone who watched this episode as a kid, who else kept hearing Cavus' last name as Happy Heart?
Appy Thart.
Just me? Well, now you can't unhear it.
The show opens in 3 days. But you haven't finished writing it yet!
Well, the show opens in 3 days, and you haven't hired a lead yet, so I guess we're all unrealistically unprepared.
I need you to write like the wind!
You mean with inconsistent speed and unreliable direction? I think Millward's got you covered there, bud.
This
I
is
love
our
my
big
duck,
break. We may
and that
never
is why
get a
I can't
chance
be
again.
bothered.
It's our
Love my
big
duck
break,
with
so
the
we're gonna
particulars
do it
of war.
right.
How long have the Fairy Peas been dancing here? Didn't Cavus just book this theater 3 minutes ago? No, it couldn't have been that short. They already installed the personalized glass and hung up pictures of themselves with no clothes on, and I'm just gonna stop that train of thought before things get too gross.
We're gonna string electric lights on the scenery itself!
Can you do that?
Hey, it's a bit of a fire hazard, but...
Too late, Seymour. Just by saying that, you have sealed your fate with more beams than the Pugsleyville Bridge. This bizarre P animation hidden in the overscan at the very least reassures me that there is no unreleased 16:9 version of this film. 1 down, 3 to go.
You mean the Crown Prince? Prince Frederick?
Why yes, and even though we both should know who he is, I'll explain anyway, just for the audience's sake.
You have 2 minutes to convince me I should be in this musical.
This conversation lasts exactly 2 minutes and 23 seconds. You have failed, Mr. Happy Heart.
Appy Thart. Unbeknownst to the plumber, the princess's pipes are magic pipes.
Oh wait, let me guess. Did the plumber find a secret warp zone while working on the drain, lend the princess a hand, and the scene cuts away right before the cookie is eaten because the animators lack ample chewing technology?
If Miss Pickering is in, the prince is in.
If the prince is in, I think Miss Pickering is in.
A circular paradox solved by outright lying to each person about the other. Our heroes, everyone! A moment of silence for the many potatoes who died to make this poster.
That's enough.
While I appreciate the callback to Gilbert and Sullivan's Lost musical, are you suggesting that Uncle Blob's been in the carnival business for hundreds of years? Also, shame on you guys for not thinking there'd be any competition on Christmas Eve, especially from a church. So, who exactly put the 6-year-old in charge of running this entire pageant? Because I have to commend this kid's leadership. So cutthroat, so uncaring about the personal needs of his staff. All he needs is a union buster and he's perfect. The paintbrush and bucket are always conveniently obscured so nobody has to animate the liquid inside.
Were you asking about the Star of Christmas? They're just gonna use it in a Christmas pageant. Young man, you've given me a fine story.
And aside from Cavus's word alone, no further research was done before this story was thrown on print. December 23rd, 1882 was also not on a Thursday.
That's the same night as your show. Hey, what a coincidence.
No, it's really not. Christmas Eve is a kinda popular time for Christmassy stuff. How do you miss that?
All we need for opening night is the prince, and unless we hear otherwise, he's coming.
This episode is really fond of using the old and then the opposite happens trope, isn't it? Obligatory 3-2-1 Penguins cameo. Obligatory iris out and fade from black in case we ever need to put commercials on this film.
I've still got the receipts for the lights.
I think I could return the costumes.
Guys, you don't have to cancel the entire play, just reschedule it for another night. How is that so hard? It's not like anyone's gonna be disappointed if they're all at the pageant anyway. What, do you think you'll lose favor in the algorithm if you cancel the day before a premiere? You're in 1882! Cut away so we don't have to show Cavus ripping up and crumpling the newspaper before he throws it. Which page did he even tear off? It looks exactly the same as it did before.
Kidnap him. Is that legal?
No.
And even if it were illegal, it probably would not reflect well in the Prince's review. The drama in these lyrics is palpable. Beneath the counters where you'll find the trouble. I'd like to fix it on the double. To protect the world from devastation!
I got more lights, but there's no more room on the scenery.
Barring that giant wall of nothing right in front of you, of course.
You want to hear the song?
The disappointment in Cavus's voice as he's once again pigeonholed into the small-time past he's known for, rather than the bigger things he wants to be known for. Dang it, why does this silly jingle punch me in the heart?
So if there's only one, how could we have a Star of Christmas?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea.
Thanks for helping out with the Ladies' Temperance League dinner.
Temperance League? Like the temperance movement? Is this the closest VeggieTales ever got to an alcohol joke? Stained glass windows are not this colorful at night unless there's a light source right behind them. I could buy it with the smaller windows because the rays show there's enough moonlight, but what's going on here? How did you two hide from such a skeptical guard? What, did he not think to check the pews before he locked the door? The lighting in this entire scene is kinda miserable. I know it's technically nighttime, but the series can and has illustrated that mood before without making everything hard to see. I had to go back and raise the exposure myself just so it be visible on a tablet.
No. We're not stealing the star. We're just borrowing it.
Rationalize all you want, Cavus, but the word borrow suggests some form of consensual transaction, and I am certain the church is not expecting anyone to just take the star. Come on, Cavus, stop lying to yourself, say the ends justify the means, and be done with it. I had to check this frame by frame to figure out how exactly Millward managed to accidentally catch the tablecloth when he shut the chest, and I still don't understand how it happened.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, you could have run down the side aisle, it was faster!
Look around for a lever or something.
He survives this.
Why does everyone want their laundry picked up at night all of a sudden?
So comic gags like this can prosper. Look, we had ordered a giant trampoline for this skit, but I think it got lost in the mail somewhere, so this is the best we got. Comical injuries, but why are your clothes still beaten up? It's been a whole day, right? You don't have another change of clothes?
The musical that everyone will be talking about in just 29 hours.
I did the math on this. Assuming the stage show and the pageant begin at the same time, because with Cavus's luck of course they would, the time right now would be 2:30 p.m. on December 23rd. Makes enough sense until you realize the newspaper Cavus was reading before last night's star theft was also December 23rd. Whoops. What exactly does Millward trip on? I hear some mechanical rumbling, but the chair itself doesn't move at all. I can't believe I haven't asked this before, but where does Cavus get all these crazy ideas? What do you think, Ventrolomatic?
Weed eater.
Oh, that's your answer to everything. Considering the stage show's flashy nature, I'm glad it never crossed Cavus's mind to make the lights flicker on and off, or we'd have even bigger problems on our hands. Pay attention to Cavus's eyes here. For a quarter of a second it looks like the star is melting, and I kinda wish this shot lasted a little longer just so I can make sure that this isn't an animation error or something. As the theater burns to the ground, I think, you know, you made so many stupid risks on this show, and they all could have been avoided if you weren't so narrow-minded in premiering at a very specific time in a very specific place. If you had just delayed this one show for another time, you could have kept the studio and key members of your crew, but now you've lost everything you had for the sole purpose of changing the world as soon as you possibly could, and you still couldn't reach your initial goal. I hope you're proud of yourself, Phil. I mean, Cavus.
Dinner time. Happy Christmas Eve.
At some point between the last dress rehearsal and the jail scene, we go from the afternoon of the 23rd all the way to the evening of the 24th. When's the time skip? When did they sleep during all this?
Well, it was really Edmund's idea. I've been teaching him about Christmas.
All off screen, we never actually see this character growth for ourselves. Apparently, forgiving Cavus and Millward's debts also means rapidly healing all their wounds, skin and clothes alike.
It's time.
It's time? It's time? Did he just say it's...
You know the rest. Look, Ma, no seatbelts. I don't care if they haven't been patented yet. That's a cheap excuse to avoid animating a strap, and you know it.
I don't know if I have to move this thing left to turn left or right to turn left.
Well, the results immediately answer that question. Trial and error, Millward. It's that simple. These guys cause so much property damage and even accidental kidnapping
Which I hear is illegal now.
just to make it to the church on time. But unlike when they burned down the theater, I don't think they'll be charged for any of this. I guess the ends do justify the means. A reminder for those in the back, this is not flying, this is falling with style.
How are we clapping?
Okay, let's consider our options for how this audience got here. Number 1. News did not spread fast enough that the star was stolen, and a large chunk of the congregation, Crown Prince included, is about to feel incredibly ripped off. Or 2. The news has spread, everyone accepts it, and they're just here for the church. But that raises the question of why theater critic Prince Frederick is still here. If he cared that much about the church, why would he have even considered going to Cavus and Millward's show in the first place? Alright, I guess this stolen bank teller is part of our main cast now. Got a deal. Blatant reuse of the laughing kid from Jonah. Oh, don't you tell me they set up that entire pulley system, complete with rudimentary electric wiring, in less than 2 minutes.
Millwood! Cavus!
Nezzer screams, but only loud enough to hear in your right ear and nothing on your left. You know, I was gonna make some joke about Millward blocking essential information or possibly hiding a file inside Pincher's present, but I really don't have the heart to sin this beautiful Christmas moment. Just subtract a sin and leave me be.
The Star of Christmas.
Star of Christmas? The Star of Christmas? The Star of Christmas?
The Star of Christmas, the Star of Christmas.
The Star of Christmas? Star of Christmas.
Star of Christmas, Star of Christmas, Star of Christmas.
The Star of Christmas.
The Star of Christmas! The Star of Christmas!
The real star of Christmas. The real star of Christmas.
The Star of Christmas.